let's discuss the difficult topic of death. But I'll give you something even stranger. Let's discuss the difficult topic of death with somebody who I've never spoken to and I never met. That's the weird thing when you comment about people's lives and you talk about the things that people do, and when their life comes to a screeching halt, I guess you're supposed to have something grandiose to say, or something that comes off as a little obvious, I guess. We should take the time to recognize how precious life is. That's what we're supposed to share right now, at a time where the life of a 20-year-old kid was taken. And when I mean kid, I do mean kid. I got to be honest with you. If I look back at my life and I think of the years that I can remember, I certainly don't think I can remember anything before the age of 5 or 6. If I was 20 years old, I would feel like I've only lived 14 years of my life. I've just never been able to drop back into my infancy years, or when I was 2 or 3. It's just such a tender age, because you've got so much testosterone in you, and you're really developing your opinions of the world, and really what you should be paying attention to is the experiences that you're having. It's not really about the thoughts that you're having, because your thoughts are just a collection of things that people have told you and things that you've read. But experience, when you get to apply that's when you grow wisdom, and that's what makes you wise as you get older. But it's such a young age to be taken away. And as I sit here, never considering him as a human being at all, just considering him as just a subject to be discussed, to be spoken about, to vaguely review his body of work, or to comment on his thoughts on depression. And X was, at least to me, what stood out with him from the rest of the pack was he always spoke in abstract terms. You definitely get the sense that he was a bit of a mystic. As you saw him having conversations with other rappers, he would always have these sort of vague and pseudo-spiritual things to say to people, and it never really seemed like they were on his wavelength, which I don't think is a mark of intelligence. I just think it's just a change of frequency. And he always seemed to deal in the abstract. He always seemed to speak in abstractions. And that set him aside from everyone else. And when you talk like that, when you speak in generalities, when you talk about the important things in life, or the big things in life like death, when you talk about life, when you talk about positivity, when you title things and speak about them the way he always would, people always seem to look at you as if you're some sort of a prophet. That always happens, right? It always happens when somebody speaks about things like that, and then they're taken so early from us, and then we say, well, he predicted his death. That's what always happened with Tupac, who would talk about his death occasionally, and then when it happened, people said, well, he's a prophet. He knew he was going to die. It's all very strange to me, because I don't feel any emotion towards XX. I've seen various people comment about the death of XX, and listen, you can go fuck yourself if you report about people being robbed or shot or stabbed. If you report any of that and today you're crying crocodile tears, like, I don't want to hear it. If you're DJ Academics, if you're Dom is Live, and you're sounding melancholy on the microphone, we really don't need to hear it. Is it making you feel bad, DJ Academics? Is it hard for you to discuss this? It wasn't hard for you to discuss all the people that were killed on the War of Chirac channel with all the Chirac savages. Why should X's life be more precious? Because now you're in a position that would now you now have to pander to the crowd, and you can't be so brutal. Now you have to speak with some sort of humanity, and now all of a sudden it's hard to do that. That side of media, that dark side of media, is it really pisses me off, because I'm sure these guys are great people in their personal lives, but please do not insult the intelligence of the very many intelligent hip hop fans that are out there when you tell us that this is very hard for you to do, when this is what you do. You sit around and you wait for people to clash and to have conflict, and then when shit gets real, you want to say that it's a tough day. It's a tough day for hip hop. Let's reflect. Those people and people who are bringing up X's domestic issues and all that, those people could just go somewhere. No, I'm not willing to listen to that, because to have your life taken away the way his life was taken away, let's just say we're even. Can we just walk away? Can the world just offend you? Is it okay for you to be hurt? Is there something that was taken from you? Was there something that was literally just taken out of you when you hear news of a 19 or a 20-year-old just have massive amounts of success and have mental issues, and he just so happens to go ape shit? And I'm not justifying it at all. I'm just saying we were all young, and I definitely did things at that age that I wasn't proud of. I mean, you all did, didn't you? I don't get that. I don't get how now we just hip hop, and I understand that the world is taking this sort of moral position, and we should all be better people because now the eye is looking at itself. So now we have to be into self-improvement, and the whole world is sort of turned into a fucking hodgepodge of self-help. And I get that, and that's great. But please, let's not pretend like we're all saints. Let's not pretend like we don't have shadow sides of our own. The body's still warm. Let's step away. Let's pay our respects. This is tragic. It's sad. It's a very sad thing. And just because I don't feel anything personally, that doesn't mean that I can't see the human side to this story and how tragic it is. Apparently, this had nothing to do with any conflicts that he had. I had heard a rumor of some rival rapper in Florida that this may be connected to. That's not what I give a shit about, but I'm hearing that there may be a possibility of that, and as as time goes on, we will find out the facts on that. But as it remains, the way I'm gonna remember XX was somebody who made music that didn't necessarily appeal to me. It wasn't for me. It wasn't made for me. Certainly a few songs that I did like. Most songs just didn't hit me the right way. But there was an intent in his music. There was an initiative to help those who I guess he felt were just like him. People who had mental health issues, people who were suffering through depression. And as we, continue to move along, that seems to be a recurring theme in rap music. It seems that the younger the artist, the more emphasis or the more awareness that they have about mental illness And I'm sure with the death of X, that's only going to inspire more artists to take on the initiative that he really stuck to. But the music wasn't for me. Maybe I'm just too old for it, or I'm not sure what the case is. But there was effort there. There was, there was passion there. There was artistry there. Of course, I was never a fan of the disclaimers on the albums and telling me that I had to open up my mind in order to listen to this. But, that's neither here nor there. What did XXXTentacion mean to you? Was he an artist? Was he a friend when you listened to his music? Was he somebody who helped you through hard times? Was he a terrible person in your eyes? Was he somebody who was a woman beater? Or was he just somebody who you enjoyed several songs from him? Just because somebody passes doesn't mean they have to become something different to you. If you felt indifferent towards him, I'd like to know what he meant to you in that regard as well. Please let me know in the comment section below. I'd really like to know. But as it stands, XXXTentacion Dead at 20.